Montgomery County residents Isaac Cujo and Kevin Isabel Pete are working to change the narrative through representation.
We're going to line all the books up so that kids can actually, like a walkway of books where kids can actually come look and see what books they want.
These young men are the founders of Brothers with Books.
We want to look back and say, you know what, Brothers with Books was a great thing that we did.
A nonprofit that distributes free books to children in the county's disadvantaged neighborhoods.
Hello, hello. We have free books, free books, free books.
Their goal?
You like books?
To build a better community through reading.
Children want to see themselves on their cover. So if you look at some of these books here,
Black heroes here. We got Thurgood over there.
you'll see someone with a different background and things like that. Color is a part of life. And people want to see their color on these books, right? And so for us, we tell kids, no, judge a book by its cover. Pick it up, find yourself, because we are looking for the books that look like you.
Lupita's amazing. Absolutely love her.
Since they started in 2019, they have distributed more than 20,000 books at schools, churches, shopping centers, and community events, like this year's Juneteenth celebration. To Kevin and Isaac, reading is about equity and access.
I had just been to Black Hill Regional Park, and I saw a free little library there, and I said to Kevin, you know, I realized growing up that I never saw those at parks. I never saw them at pools. It's always in places that I didn't get to frequent growing up. And Kevin was like, so what do we want to do about it? And I said, well, let's do our own. Let's try and build our own.
I went to middle school at Roberto Clemente, and we had our Scholastic Book Fair yearly. Every time I would go there, I'm like, oh, I want this, I want that, or, you know, I want this pencil, or I want that pen, and all of these things. I had this huge wish list. I had about 2 pages, and I grew up a free and reduced meal student, and I'm like, Mom, I have all these things, and when we got to the total, it was like $100, $200, and I'm like, she's like, listen, I don't know how we're gonna do this because we need food for this week too. So it's either you could eat a book or you could eat your dinner, you know?
Their desire to start the organization came after the two were stopped by police on Frederick Road 4 years ago. They were told there were burglaries in the area and that they matched a description. The two ended up being detained for 4 hours and as a result suffered residual PTS from the incident.
If you're upset with the system, and you don't have power over that system, what can I do to make things better for someone that looks like me or someone that has a similar journey as me?
I think what's really significant is that we are a product of this community. We went to elementary school, middle school, high school here. So these are just different voices, different perspectives, and we're kind of saying to the community, this is what we need. Coming from where we came from, there are other students, we're not the only 2 students that have experienced this. There are other students that have experienced this, and we're just fortunate enough to be in a position to where we can shine light on some of those voices. We never want the spotlight, but we want to just say, hey, there's a situation over there that needs some more support.
They started by gathering free books at the Maryland Book Bank. When they left that first day, they had more books than they knew what to do with. So they called an old teacher.
And so we were like, what do we do with all these books? That's way bigger than a free little library. And we contacted an educator by the name of Joe Rankin at Montgomery Village Middle School. And I said, hey, Joe, he actually went to Seneca while I was there as well. And I said, Joe, I have 156 books. Do you have any students that might want some? And he said, I have 156 students that want some. I'll see you next week. Hey, everybody, we're at
Glen Allen Elementary, home of the game.
And it took off from there with a social media account and a major growth in donors.
So we actually have a donor that collects like award-winning books.
New York Times best-selling author for that one, so there you go.
Today, they have people across the county and country who are contributing by donating both books and money.
We are putting some of the money into some books, just random books. The whole process about it is that, you know, there is a gain to opening up your book. You know, right now it's money, but in the future it's knowledge.
Mommy, look, I got money.
You guys are the best. You guys are the best. That's excellent. Hidden treasures.
Councilmember Craig Rice met with the young men early on and helped them get their foot in the door for their first community event.
I think we live in a community that is in a unique position where we are actually conscious of the disparities that exist. Montgomery County is such a powerful, rich community, but we still have so many disparities, right? We have so many people that are in need. I think my biggest message would be to people is that when we first started, Kevin and I funded 80% of this. Now the community funds 80% of this.
I can't tell you how powerful a message that is. It's giving of your time, your talent, or your treasure. Anyone can do those things, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have in your pocket. When it comes to the actual talent itself, if you have the ability to create something or make something happen, we all have our role to play. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. We'll do. Appreciate it. It's great seeing you as always.
So we have free books. You can take as many books as you like.
And the long-term vision for Brothers with Books, continuing to provide equity and access to literature.
So we're trying to connect from where we are to where we need to be as just people. Yep.
You like Pokemon?
I love them.
We're going to keep pushing, of course, keep going and keep powering our way through by any means necessary. We're just going to do what we have to do. You got this one, and they all have Pikachu in it. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. In order to provide, equity, access, and literature. If that's the role that we need to fit in that time period, then that's the role we're going to fit.
There it is, Captain Underpants.
The greatest joy will come one day when somebody says, hey, we actually don't need you guys this week. Like, we have enough books. Like, we want that to happen. We want somebody to say, like, hey, we're good. Like, we have so many books. Our kids are always reading. We're good.
Boop. Yay.
If you'd like to donate or volunteer with Brothers with Books, send them an email.
Free books.